It is hot today in the southern mountains of Appalachia. Matt and I have been picking beans, just the rattlesnake beans. That's all we picked. And we got 2 5-gallon buckets full and a wash tub full. Matt said about, what'd you say, about 1.5 bushels? Yeah. About 1.5 bushels. So this is the second time we've picked them. And they look beautiful, the beans do, the rattlesnake beans. I'm afraid to even say it because I probably jinx myself. But it seems like they're going to be more bug resistant than the greasy beans. Now, as soon as I said that, of course, all the bugs probably just went straight to the rattlesnake beans. But they look really pretty still, and hopefully that'll continue. So there's just a few things we need to do outside today. He's down there harvesting the rest of the pitiful tomatoes. Tomatoes up here are great, and the tomatoes down there are not so great. But he's going to harvest them. They're still producing though. Still got red tomatoes and green and orange on them, so they're still doing okay. And then I'm not sure what else we'll do. It's so hot, it's pretty much unbearable. We're gonna look at the cucumbers and see if we can harvest any of them. I want to check on the peas and see if anything's producing there yet. I'm so excited about that first mess of peas. I know they're really gonna be good. Matt added a bucket full, a little small bucket, but still a bucket full to our harvest this morning. There'll be more from the Cherokee Purple, and then of course there's tons of Tommy Toes to go along with all of those. My miniature sunflowers are finally blooming. Aren't they pretty? They're kind of taller than I thought they would be, but still lovely. And they're especially pretty because they're growing right beside this kind of magenta colored Cosmo, which again was supposed to be small, but is actually very tall. But the colors together are just so pretty. This is one of my favorite parts of the garden right now. It changes pretty much every week, but this is just especially lovely. I just happened to look over here, and what do I see but some little strawberries. This is going to be a sweet snack for me and Matt. I'm going to pick them. There's just 3 that I see, but that tells me that I need to look at the rest of them, make sure there's not more hiding. Very nice surprise. Our big sunflowers are blooming too, and they're really pretty. I can even see them outside my bedroom window. 2 different colors. I don't remember the names of them, but they are lovely. I'm keeping a close eye on the peas. There's lots of them, but none ready to eat yet. More blooms on the way too. Here's our first squash. We'll be able to eat that in a couple of days, and hopefully this plant will produce some more for us. And here's our first zucchini. The zucchini plants look better than the squash, so hopefully we'll have a few more zucchini too. Our winter squash are sprawling all over the place. You can see one of the big green and white striped cushaws right there. There's more as you look up through there. I don't see any pumpkins yet, but I'm hopeful. These leaves down here that are got white veins looking through them, those are pumpkins. So surely to goodness I'm going to have at least a few pumpkins since the plant looks so great. It's a sea of winter squash for sure.
start eating these things before they melt.
I know, it's too hot. It's too hot for popsicles. Too hot for gardening today. I guess we're under a heat wave. I think a lot of places are right now.
Yep.
I just have to do that to aggravate Matt. Jar flies are buzzing today. Feels good. Might feel better if there was a lake or something right here we could jump in.
I'd like to jump in a big tub of these.
Well, the Smothers Brothers jumped in a vat of chocolate.
I don't believe I want to do that today. It's a little warm.
I don't remember if they jumped or fell, what the song is. I fell into a vat of chocolate. I used to want Corey and Katie to sing that song because I thought it was funny. When they kind of act like the Smothers Brothers sometimes, but they didn't. I'm eating peach today because we've got lots of peaches to put up. Our nephew Ben has a peach tree at his house, and it produced a bumper crop this year, and his family had kind of used all they were going to use, so they said we could come get the rest if we wanted to. We got bugs crawling on the camera. Go on. And it was loaded. Lots of pretty peaches. We probably just can most of them, but I want to dry some because I want to make a dried apple stack cake. Well, I want to make the same cake but use peaches and see what that's like. I think it'd be good. I've heard that other people do that and it's good.
I like to have peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler, yeah, we could do that.
Fresh peach cobbler.
Yeah. So we can get on it, is that what you're saying?
Before dark.
Before dark.
Yes.
I could probably do that. Too bad we don't have some nice vanilla ice cream to go with it. And that's what I would like, is some homemade peach ice cream. How about that?
Can you do that?
Maybe.
You know what else I want?
What?
Pepper jelly.
Pepper jelly?
Yes. I really like that stuff.
I like it too.
Do we have any left from last year?
I don't think so. Our peppers didn't do as good this year. They started off beautiful, wonderful, fantastic. They were pretty much setting peppers in the greenhouse. And then we had that really cold start to the summer. They didn't like that. And then I planted marigolds all over them, and they overtook them. So, not going to be our best pepper year. They are producing though. You picked what? A gallon of peppers this morning? Half a gallon? Something like that. It don't take much to make pepper jelly. So I could probably do that.
My goodness, I like that stuff.
I like it on cornbread, hot cornbread, on fried cornbread, hoe cake, whatever people call it, different names, but I like it like that. Just smear it on it, hot out of the oven. And then I like it with cream cheese and crackers. That's good too. I used to take that for my lunch a lot when we worked at the college, for my dinner every day. The popsicle cool you off any?
Yeah, momentarily. It's just like an oven out here. Even if you're in the shade, it's still hot. I'm whining about hot weather, though. I don't like it.
It does drain you.
It does me. Got more beans to can, too.
Mm-hmm.
Save enough out and cook a pot full of them fresh.
Yeah. What did I do with the beans? I've laid them over here. This is not all the beans that we're growing this year, but I wanted to show you. So that's the rattlesnake bean. It'll just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but you can see those stripes. Kind of, I guess that's where it gets its name. I don't know. Doesn't really look like a rattlesnake though. Anyway, this is one that we got. So we're trying some of those old varieties that Debbie at Brasstown Farm Supply shared with us. Oh, we're so grateful to Debbie. But this is the preacher bean. It kind of has a yellowy tint to it, and it's a big full bean. It doesn't get very big as far as lengthwise, but it's full. And we've already eaten them, and they're good.
They're very good.
Very good. We really liked those, so that's for sure a winner. Now, some of them are not producing yet, so we can't show them all to you. But this is the other one, and we've not picked any of these because we were just waiting to see what they did. But you can see how big it is. This was the one from Debbie called a case knife bean. Well, you can see it's as big as a case knife for sure. And it's, I don't know, I guess I could open this one and see what kind of bean it's got in it. It's got a string. Oh, it's got a great old big bean. Kind of a, more of a, what do you say? Kind of a flatter bean inside it, a big one. It's kind of flat. So we've not tried that one yet. I'm sure we'll like it though. But it does get apparently big as a case knife. That's an apt name for it. So I'm excited to try that one. The one I'm most excited about, I was excited about all the ones she shared with us, but the two that I was really excited about, and to be honest with you, it's just because the bean or the pea is so pretty, but is the one that was like a paint horse. It was white, but it had a brown place like a paint horse on it, and they're blooming, but they've not produced any beans yet. And then the Holstein pea, which is the same thing, was like a little pea with a black place on it, so it looked like a Holstein cow. But neither one of those are ready yet. I'm really excited about them. I'm excited about all the butter beans too, but they're not really producing. Now, Matt's theory is, as a gardener, you're already always thinking about next year. So I'm definitely thinking I'm not going to put marigolds. I guess Matt's going to be happy if I don't, right?
Choked everything out.
I'm not going to put marigolds. I really truthfully did not realize they were the gigantic variety, but still, I'm not going to put marigolds. And they didn't help any with the bugs. The bugs are eating them. Maybe that's, what do they call that? Like a trap crop or something, where you're supposed to plant something for the bugs so they eat the bugs and don't eat your stuff. Anyway, we're not going to do that. But our rattlesnake beans, Matt's, suggestion and wish to plant the two big long rows have done so good, and they'll just keep producing till fall, right? I mean, unless something happens to them, unless the bean bugs do get in them. So I wonder if we could plant one big row, or maybe 1.5 big rows, and then plant some of the peas and the butter beans down there. Maybe.
Do anything you want to do.
Anyway, something to think about. As a gardener, you're always thinking about the next year, what really worked and what I won't do again, or what you just want to change something. This was a difficult year for us. For one thing, the weather was so strange, and because it was cooler, and since we live on the north side of the mountain, it was even cooler for us. Kind of a slow, chuggy start, getting started for things to really take off. And then, of course, Matt's mother being sick and then passing away. That took our mind. Of course, we wasn't worrying about the garden. We were worrying about her. And then now with Granny's, sickness, we're still not sure exactly what's going to happen with Granny. She has another test next week, and hopefully that'll tell us more. So, anyway, it's been a strange gardening year. But it's still producing bounty of the green beans, the tomatoes, the cucumbers, all doing great. And the winter squash. Looks like it's going to be a good year for them, at least for the green and white striped cushaws. And our volunteer pumpkins up here. So, all in all, not bad. No. Even just a different kind of year than we usually have.
And then we even had planted some tomatoes, and they didn't turn out to be what tomatoes we thought.
Yeah, because me and Corey.
So I've had to hunt and peck for the tomato sandwiches.
Yeah, Matt thinks that me and Corey were into the, what do they call it on the Waltons, the recipe?
Yeah.
But we weren't. We were just probably talking and not paying attention.
It's basically a whole row of some kind of funky looking tomatoes over there.
Yeah, I know. It is true. It's the blueberry one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's things like that, like those blueberry ones. One of them was Corey's, and I think one of them was mine. The blueberry cream, I didn't care for. I think maybe you liked the reddish one better, though.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and then there's one that starts out really, really blue, and then it turns all red. And that one I liked and Matt liked. That's the majority of what's planted over there. Actually, you're right. It's just a whole row of tomatoes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because there's the blueberry ones, and
there's one at the very
Cherokee
start,
purple.
and then the rest of it's just those little ones.
Yeah. Me and Corey, you're gonna have to keep us in line next year.
Might need a new
boss,
a new foreman
Yeah.
over the planting section of this.
Yeah, I think we do.
But they're good. They're just
They're good. They're just not. They're hard to make a sandwich out of.
yeah.
You can slice them, of course, and make one. But Matt loves this big Cherokee purples.
Golly, I like those things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat one today. Not had one in a few days, so I'm gonna get them while I can because they're going away quick.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, me and Matt, today when we were harvesting, I'm thinking, like, especially the cucumbers, we're still fighting the dreaded squash bug or whatever it is. Thinking about how bad they look, and but then I'm like, remind myself, next week's August.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's about time. Even time just goes by so fast. In my mind, I'm still thinking it's like June or something, and it's next week's August.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But they put out good. The
Oh
cucumbers
yeah, we've
have.
had a lot of cucumbers. They have.
Made a
They
bunch
put
of
out.
pickles.
Yeah. And they're still putting out, still producing.
Yeah.
So I just can't stand those bugs. Now, we've not had time to try people have told us to mix up like the cayenne pepper and garlic and that kind of solution. We've not tried that yet, and I don't know if we will this year, but we definitely will. I mean, it's like something like that. You wonder if you could just spray them once a week, and that might keep them off. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Another thing to think about for next year, which will be here before we know it. You got bees coming around you?
Yeah, I do.
You're just so sweet.
I'm a little skittish in things. They're hateful.
Yeah. The sun went behind a cloud. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that'll just drop the temperature.
It's crazy too to walk over on the edge of the woods. It's about 10 degrees cooler.
Yeah. We were tempted to go up in the woods today. I said, let's just go. Let's just hike, and you cook me something. We'll sit by the creek, and we started thinking about all the work we had to do.
Yeah.
The peaches waiting on us. The beans needed picking, and then now they need canning, and
Yep.
so. I guess you're ready for cold weather.
Yeah.
You was probably ready on June 1st, though, for cold weather.
Yeah, I'm always waiting on cold weather. This is a misery to me. I mean, I enjoy the gardening and eating good out of it and everything, but this weather is just miserable. And it has been all my life long. There's just something about it I don't
Yeah.
tolerate it well.
And this week I was writing on the Blind Pig and Acorn about because we're all under like a heat wave, or a lot of people in the United States are, but especially the Southeast. And talking about all the hot sayings, hot as Hades, and, all the hot as a frying pan, hot as a $2 pistol, all those kind of things. But I was also talking about how I'm like Matt. I mean, I can't stand it either. Today I said I'm like what Pap used to call soft. I've got soft. Because when we were growing up, we didn't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
We had the open the windows of an evening to let the cool air come in, and sleep with them open, hoping there'd be a breeze or something. And then we had the big box fans, and that was all. The fans where somebody's always screaming not to stick your fingers in them or it'll cut them off. And
I used to stick mine in it anyway.
oh gosh,
Just on the back side of it where it just barely tick your finger.
oh gosh, you're crazy. And
I used to stick pencils in it too. And break
those
them
old
off.
ones was metal.
Yeah, they'd catch you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They'd catch you
I
bad.
remember. I wonder if that one's still down in Granny's basement. This big metal one we had for. I mean, we had two, but I remember especially one of them. The way it had like a fake wood thing across the top. But then, of course, then you like to get up close to it and go ah, and let it make your voice go vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all we had, and somehow we survived.
Yeah, that's
we
all. I mean, we
survived.
didn't have air conditioning either,
Yeah.
and we didn't even have it here till.
No, we didn't.
Till the
Corey and
girls
Katie
were-
was probably 5 or 6,
Yeah.
something like that. We couldn't afford to put it in when we first moved in.
But it don't seem like it hurt us that bad as it does now either. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't have it till they were about 5 or 6 years old. Couldn't afford it. And Granny and Pap never, and we didn't have it in cars either, you know. And I didn't care about that. You just roll down the window and you feel the wind. Except when I got older and didn't want my hair to get messed up, then I didn't want to roll down the window. But then if you
Yeah.
didn't roll down the window, you sweated.
And
So
and go fix you do.
yeah, I had to get my hair do. I
Hair
didn't want
did.
I didn't want to mess it up. But yeah, I'm soft now. It's just so comforting to know, like me and Matt's sitting here sweating, but we're going to go inside, and literally I'll be freezing because of the air conditioning. That's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it sure does make you sleep better at night when you're not sweating, and
Yeah.
like in the old days. And then especially when I was real young, you want the window open because of that, getting the cool night air. At least it's some cooler coming into the house. And then I was afraid, so I didn't want the window open because I was afraid somebody'd come in. You know, your imagination starts running wild with you. So then it's like, do I open my window or am I too afraid? It's like
It's irrational.
I know, but I wouldn't be like that now, but I was when I was a little girl. And Paul and Steve, since they were boys, they had to share a room, and I got a room by myself, so I didn't have nobody with me. I was scared, although they were right there, and Granny Pap was right there. But when you're young, you're scared of the dark and scared of stuff, so I was afraid somebody'd come through the screen. Yeah. So I didn't like to leave my window open, but then that means you gotta sweat.
It never bothered me. I'd throw the windows open. We didn't even have screens because I probably tore them up
Yeah,
when I was little.
probably.
I do remember getting the screens, and I'd seen on watching old Western somebody painting for gold, and I tore one of the window screens out and took it to the creek and was sifting sand with it.
Goodness.
Daddy did not like that.
I'm sure he didn't. What was it that Katie did with one of her screens? Or did she just remove it so she could throw stuff out the window?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, she took it out and then it ended up got
getting
broke.
because she
Yeah.
just wanted to be able to throw stuff out the window,
Mhm.
throw rocks out the window or something.
And then she took a spell. She was wanting to shoot out her window.
Yeah.
She did that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she must get that stuff from your side.
Oh yeah. I don't remember sifting gold with any screens. Granny would have got me.
Yeah. Well, I got
You just did it anyway.
reprimanded right nicely.
You just did it.
But I
anyway.
didn't learn. I just kept breaking stuff and tearing up stuff. And
Yeah.
I was kind of rough and rowdy when I was little.
Still are sometimes.
Think.
Yeah. Not to the point you're tearing up stuff, but
Have a rowdy disposition. Is that what you're saying?
maybe.
Well, that's why we compliment each other so well, because you're so mild,
Genteel or something.
genteel, and yeah, whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness. Although Pap, I think as he got older, he didn't like the heat either. Of course he didn't like it. I mean, who would? But I don't remember how old I was, but he installed an attic fan that would like suck all the air
Yeah.
out. And I don't know that it ever worked good. But the worst thing about it is when you turned it on, my Lord, it sounded like an airplane on the house.
It sucked the curtains off a while.
Yeah, it was
would.
powerful, which he would just turn it on and leave it for like 5 or 10 minutes or whatever of the evening, and then then turn it back off. But
Right.
yeah, it would suck the air out, but it was just so loud. Even like the louvers coming down were loud.
Yeah.
I bet it ain't been turned on in 15 years.
Yeah.
I forgot about it. Of course, Granny, she takes blood thinner, so she freezes all the time now.
Mm-hmm.
and not being active. I'm cold-natured if I'm not active, not moving around. Sounds of summer.
Yep.
One I miss though from childhood is the sound of a grouse.
Yeah, I know too. You used to could hear them
Yeah.
from home.
Yeah, all the time. Anytime you was in the yard, you'd hear them.
But you can't even get back in the mountains and hear them now.
Yeah.
Whatever went with them, I don't know. They're gone.
The spread of man and I
Yes.
guess coyotes too.
You used to hear quail calling all the time growing up. I mean, regularly hear them from the yard.
Yeah.
And I've not seen a quail in 30 years.
Grouse used to stay in that little patch of woods kind of between here and Granny's.
Mm-hmm.
You'd hear them when I was outside playing. When I was little, I'd hear them in there. Sound like a lawnmower starting.
Yeah. You don't hear it anymore.
Mm-mm.
Come unfed.
Come unfed. You gotta go eat.
Yep.
Tomato sandwich, you said?
Yeah.
One of your Cherokee purples.
Yep.
Granny calls them Cherokee reds. You bring me one of them Cherokee reds
That's what she
down
calls
here?
them?
Yeah. I said, yeah, I'll bring you one. She likes them.
What are those other smaller ones from
Those
down
are
there?
the ones on the far side are Arkansas Traveler, and then the ones on the up this row is the Mountain Princess.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. They've got good flavor, and I don't know what happened to them this year. They usually do good.
I won't do that next year because I'm going to fix that.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to put 2 beds right there.
Oh, are you?
Yep.
I think we ought to get a big load of chicken litter like it in October or something. Don't Sonny bring that? Couldn't he do that, Sonny Rickard?
But they just got spreader trucks. They ain't like they can come and dump it.
I thought they could. Maybe not. I guess I'm thinking about Pap's big garden. Yeah. And I guess he did, like you're saying, they could spread it. If you put it on then, and then just leave it till next year.
Yeah, but that's, I think that it's just my opinion because we've had trouble growing stuff just in that one little spot for years.
Spot,
and I think that it's got something to do with the downspout drains go right under that.
Maybe.
And it's the water runoff from the roof and the shingles and whatever else. And I'm sure that it's broken in there because the dogs run a squirrel up in it years ago, you remember?
Yeah.
And tore it all to pieces.
Yeah.
And
probably
and
just.
And it's just right there, and it's directly under that.
Just that one area, you're right.
So put a bed on it, get up off the top of the ground, put a bunch of good dirt in it, and that should fix it. So that's what we'll do. See, I'm smarter than I look.
I think you're brilliant. Smartest person I know.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, we thank you for coming along with us on this hot day and spending a little time with us while we work on our garden. It's hard to believe, but as I said, next week's August, so I guess it's time for things to be winding down. But we're still in the middle of preserving all that wonderful bounty and putting it up for our family to eat this winter, which is really common in the mountains of Appalachia for people to do that. Even people like us that kind of do it on a small scale compared to people that might have a farm and have, meat hogs and beef, cattle, and all that kind of stuff. It's really common for people. You'll hear people talking about what they put up last night after they got off work, and even if they don't grow it, they go buy it at the produce stand or something.
Yep.
So we're always grateful when you spend time with us as we celebrate Appalachia. Do us a thumbnail. You need to put your bandana like it's hot.
You think?
Yeah. Like you're wiping your face.
Bandana's wet.
That's what you like, ain't it?
Mm-hmm. What is it?
I was just laughing.
What's that?
Yeah, I was thinking more of like a real strangle look.
You get half and I'll get half.
Okay. Okay. Oh gosh. That is a big bean. It's like a meal. You could have 2 beans for your meal. You think so?
Mm-hmm. It's not really funny.
Yeah. That's just scary. It's like somebody would not. I don't know. It's like a horror movie. I don't like it. You got to show your pretty face.
Yeah.
Really, that could be like you just have a meal for, like have 3 beans and that'd be a meal.
No, it might for you. That's what you have with a meal, with supper.
Oh, okay.
That's not supper.
Okay. I need you to get my dehydrator out for me.
Where is it?
In the basement.
Where do you want it?
I think on the porch, on that bench, and that way as it heats up, it's just outside.
Okay.
I'm going to do the peaches.
Hmm.
And I'm going to try the peaches. I think that'd be good. I've read about it, peach stack cake. Don't you?
Oh, I'm sure it'd be good.
Yeah. I don't know though. I'm so partial to apple if I could do it, but.
Well, you should step out and try something different.
Yeah.
Just don't do it in your manly endeavors. You need to stick with what you know.
Yes. You gonna eat a tomato sandwich, you said?
I believe I will. What are you gonna eat?
I
Let
don't
me
know.
guess.
Watermelon.
Watermelon.
Watermelon. Watermelon.
Oh, that's good, but it wouldn't hold me.
So next year, again, I think I can't believe how much better those watermelons and those things are doing. It's just that they're too far away to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
So we could do a whole row of them and put any watermelons or melons that we grow in them, but put them down here so that they're not hard to water.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think if you got one of those narrow beds like that, of those up there, and put them down through there, that would be better.
Next to the greenhouse?
Yeah.
That'd be a tangled up mess.
Why?
Between the greenhouse and the tomatoes, it just big bushed up and you couldn't get in there.
Well, I just think those grow bags just don't work right there. So I was just trying to think of something else you could put
I agree
there.
with you on that, and then, yeah, I agree, but I'll put it anywhere you want to. I'm just saying that the vines will grow out and you won't be able to get in there.
Mm.
But it generally does anyway, wherever we put anything.
That's
So.
true. Or maybe we put something else in there. So tomatoes, but I don't know what it would be. I guess it could all be potatoes.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea because they did good in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
You're the boss. Whatever you say, I'll do it.
I don't know. Those little strawberries were good, wasn't they?
Yeah, they were.
Maybe by next year we'll have a whole bunch of them.
It'd be real good is to have a whole bunch of them that you grew yourself and make homemade jelly.
Yeah, I don't like strawberry jelly much.
Well, I do.
I know you do. Granny usually makes you some.
It's tree rattler.
I don't like it. Is it gonna come bite us?
Hope not.
It's after its brothers
Yeah.
in the rattlesnake beans.
Yeah. Let's go feed me.
I'm still tempted to go up the creek into a hammock and sleep. But my peaches are waiting and my green beans are waiting. So, I guess that's an option.
Do whatever you want, I guess.
Shirk my responsibilities.
Yeah.
I'm not one to do that.
Right.
And then come this winter, when I'm having a wonderful peach or cobbler or just peaches and wonderful jar of green beans, I'll be glad I didn't shirk my responsibility.
Remember that day we was going to go up the creek?
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't.
I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we took care of our family. We gotta carry all this stuff in.
Yep.
It's a pretty good haul. I can't believe how big some of those cucumbers are. Me and Corey just picked cucumbers. We just gathered them.
No, them things just get away from you.
There's the chickens love them when they're that big, but
Yep.
all right, ready? Ready, Freddy?
I guess. Let's go.
All right.